On my last video, someone asked me in the comment section whether position 5 Enigma is strong, and I said no, he's too item dependent to be a position 5. But then here along comes Puppey, and he just up and picks position 5 Enigma in the grand finals against the Lions at the ESL One Birmingham. So we're going to watch this game and see how Puppey makes this hero choice work.
Lessons that cannot be unlearned.
Welcome to the Church of Obelisk. So after helping secure the runes, Puppey goes ahead and walks to the mid lane, where he's going to convert one Eidolon and help out the mid lane. And this is very important. This means that there's going to be one less creep for the enemy mid laner to take, and this is much stronger than just getting a deny, because it denies all the experience, whereas denies, I think, only deny 40% of the experience regularly if the enemy is in XP range. So this is what makes Enigma actually a very strong lane support, which is an important thing of what you want from a position 5 hero. You can just always deny those creeps, and this also pushes back the wave, which allows your carry to farm safely, and then you can leave your carry to get a lot of solo XP under or near the tower, and this is going to really accelerate your carry's farm. Now, a problem with this could be that if the enemy is running a kill lane, they can just dive under your tower, or they can just kill your carry, and then Enigma is not actually that great at fighting back against that. But they're laning here against a Centaur Warrunner, who is a fairly good laner, but he's more of a trading kind of laner. He doesn't really offer much kill threats. Because of his return, or retaliate, he actually trades really well, but he doesn't have much kill potential. So we see Puppey here doing a really good job of microing those Eidolons, just being annoying with them, and he's primarily using those to just hit that Shadow Demon. Centaur Warrunner is a melee hero, so of course he has a damage block. So the level 1 Eidolons only deal 20 damage, so against damage block that's reduced to 12 on average, so he's not doing much to that Centaur. But the Shadow Demon is much more vulnerable, so you'll be hitting him, and you want to do pulls, you want to disrupt enemy pulls, and of course you want to go back to the lane when you're spawning those Eidolons and spawn them when the enemy are not in XP range. That is very important. That makes your demonic conversion much more efficient. You can see he's walking back here, and now he's going to take over this range creep. No one is nearby in XP range, and that's just a clean deny, and they don't get any experience out of that. So you can already see Centaur is already slightly falling behind, but it's only going to get worse as this lane goes on. So the way for the enemy to fight back against this is to just do aggressive moves like this. They're going to Wraith King, but Wraith King is fairly tanky, even without his ultimate, and you see a rotation coming in from Earth Spirit. They try to get a kill on the Centaur, but it's actually not very easy, so they go for Shadow Demon instead. And meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we saw a First Blood here coming out onto that Bat Rider who was left alone by his Earth Spirit. So this one definitely went well for Alliance, but even so, in terms of net worth, Secret is still slightly ahead here, and if you look at the experience, it's now almost one full level ahead on Wraith King, so this is working out really well for this Enigma Wraith King lane. Enigma is a very mana hungry hero in the early game, so this is why he started out with a Sage's Mask, which is a really efficient item in this patch, and he's also been using Clarities regularly just to be able to sustain that mana cost of demonic conversion, which is 140 mana at level 1, that's so much. He's doing these pulls and denying most of these creeps, but Centaur of course is going to try to get something here. This also means he's not here in the lane, and that means that Wraith King is having an even freer game here. And because of all the solo experience he got, Wraith King is now almost level 6, while Centaur is still level 4. So he's been gone on here, but those creeps dying, he actually gets level 6 and is able to level up his ultimate if he needs to. So for now he's keeping the point, which is something you almost always want to do on Wraith King, so that sometimes you're in a situation where you know that he's just going to die twice, and then you just don't skill up the ultimate and just have a clean death and not use that very long cooldown. So Puppey is still doing more pulling, he's getting some experience from this too, so he's now level 3 and he's taken almost no experience from that lane, so the Wraith King now is up, almost 2 levels. So why is Enigma typically not played as position 5? Well, the thing is that he's a fairly greedy hero. He's a hero that really wants to have that Blink Dagger and BKB to really make full use of his ultimate, and without those items, Enigma is not that great. He is a good laner, as we've seen, but he is just too greedy to typically be played as a position 5. He of course can be played as position 4, that's very traditional, but as a 5, he can really only be played if you have a fairly selfless position 4 hero. And they have this here in that Earth Spirit. And Earth Spirit is a hero that can do a lot with very little. He's more of a hero that can be played as like a position 4.5. He doesn't need any crucial item, he can operate without needing a Blink Dagger or anything like that. So if you want to play this, it's probably best not to do it in solo queue. It's probably best to do it in some sort of organized setting where you're playing with a bunch of friends and you have a position 4 player who sort of is okay with playing more a position 4.5 role, more of a space creating role, because you can't have a hero like Earthshaker, for example, with this. Because then you have both the supports trying to farm the Blink Dagger in the early mid game, and that just means there's not going to be enough farm on the map for your cores. That's not really something you can do. And what we're going to see in this game is that Puppey is actually going to play this very greedily. After securing his Wraith King's farm in the start, now Wraith King is so far ahead against this Centaur. Centaur is level 6, whereas Wraith King is level 8, almost level 9, so it's like 2.5 levels up. After securing that excellent start for Wraith King, which of course caused Enigma's farm to go down, Puppey is now just catching up. He's just doing some jungle camps here, which is something you can do as Enigma, and of course it's quite efficient. And the important thing is that you kind of need levels in this hero. And he hasn't gotten a tome, he gave that to Yapzor, so he just needs some time now on his own to catch up. He can go to empty lanes, he can farm jungle camps, and that's okay to do as a support. If at position 5 you have the lowest farm priority, but that doesn't mean that you have no farm priority. It still means that, especially if you need an important level 6, you still should find some farm for yourself and get those important levels up and get maybe a crucial item or two. Speaking of items here, the first item he's going to go for, aside from boots and wand, is going to be a medallion, which makes use of that early game Sage's Mask, and it's also just a really efficient item, and it's almost always good to just have a medallion in your team somewhere. Helps you a lot with roshing, and on Enigma also helps you with the jungling, because you can just cast this on whatever jungle creep you're hitting, and then everything goes a lot faster. So it's just a strong, efficient item. Usually in Enigma the idea is that you don't want to go for Blink Dagger right away, because then you're kind of too dependent on landing your ultimates. Then you have just an item that's good for your ultimate, but then doesn't contribute much the rest of the time, the rest of that very long cooldown. So typically as a core Enigma you want to go for something like a Necro 1, which just helps you farm and has a good build up without 2 Sage's Masks. Or you can go for something like a Dominator, and then typically you go for your Blink Dagger and your BKB. So in this game, because you're position 5, you can have less farm, so you're going to go for a cheaper item first, which is a medallion here, and then afterwards he's going to go for that Blink Dagger. And if we look at the net worth chart, we already see Enigma outscaling the other supports in this game, and that's just going to continue throughout this game. He's just going to farm quite a bit, and he spent a lot of the last couple of minutes just farming lanes and jungle camps, and then of course being ready to TP to fight with his black hole. But for now he's just really focused on securing farm to get a decent timing on that dagger. With this excellent start that Puppey gave him, Matu already has a Radiance here, and as they initiated Enigma here, Enigma, thanks to his wand, is able to get off a nice black hole, catching 2 people and setting up that fight. And now he's just gonna move farther back and just try to stay here nearby the fight, so he can still rejoin when his cooldowns come back on. And in the meantime, Matu is just killing everyone, and they're chasing down Shen as well, and he's not going to survive very long. When the crit here comes out, and Matu now has a triple kill, and with all those treants and Eidolons, this tier 1 tower is gonna fall really quickly. So right now Matu went in this fight with like 300 gold, and now he's already almost to his blink dagger. So they waste no time, get a double damage rune here and go straight for Roshan. And Puppey, of course, he's very low on mana and on HP, but he's still going to use that demonic conversion. You can cast this on your old Eidolons that are about to expire, or you can use skeletons, and these really help for Roshan. So they secure Roshan with the medallion, all those summons, as well as of course that right clicks from Matsu. But now Alliance want to fight. They know there's no black hole, they know that Secret used a lot for that Roshan, they're almost out of gas. So this fight at the start is going really well for Alliance. They claim the Aegis and they get the first life from Wraith King, and Matu now has his blink dagger up, but now as the fight drags on, it's still looking okay for Secret, and we see that Nature's Prophet now falling, but on the whole this fight was still okay with the blink dagger. They actually managed to kill that Death Prophet, and it's still an okay fight. They lost the Aegis immediately, but still they are extending the net worth lead, so really well fought here from Secret, able to win that fight more or less, despite having used all of their big abilities earlier. So they even get the kill on S4 as well, with that lasso from Zai. So now they're just in really good shape, and they're up 10k. So it was a long fight, hard fought, and it made sense for Alliance to contest there, but they just didn't quite have enough. Bounty runes are about to come up, so Enigma is gonna get in position here to claim the bounty rune, but Chen is there first. So Chen gets the bounty rune, but he gets chased down here, and with Prophet teleporting in here, there's gonna be an easy kill, and Predator finds that Prophet here, and they just use that black hole as a good kill. It's an important kill, and it's just better to be safe than sorry. So now they have 2 heroes down, and they're gonna try to maybe get off some of these Chen creeps and just extend their net worth lead. And with Black Hole now back on cooldown, Puppey's just gonna do some more farming, and that's fine. You don't necessarily need to fight all the time. You're just securing their net worth leads. We have all their heroes basically farming quite well. Well, Yapso is kind of not very farmed, but he still has a Spirit Vessel, which is pretty much all he really needs in this game. And he's still ahead of the enemy supports. So we see Puppey even ahead of the enemy mid laner in position 3. So this is an incredibly farmed position 5. The bounty runes are about to come up, and one of the primary reasons why Secret are so far ahead in this game is just how well they play the map. So they know they're ahead, so they can just spread out, have this Earth Spirit, claim the top runes, and meanwhile the rest of them claim the bottom runes. And now Puppey is going to do some dewarding here with the help of his courier that just came out to deliver some wards to him. So he's just going to place the sentry ward here, and this way he can get uphill vision here, but he can also catch a ward that's placed somewhere like here or here, which wouldn't be caught by a ward placed on that top eye spot there. They go for a smoke play here because they have Black Hole up and they're much stronger, so they're seeking a fight. Also have an important timing here. Matumberman just got his AC, so they're really looking to fight, find a nice initiation here onto that Juggernaut. This is not the best position to fight because they're fighting in that high ground, but they're so much stronger that they can do this. And anyway, just want to wait back here and wait for a good Black Hole. And he gets a decent one here, so they win that fight, get 2 kills, and meanwhile S4 is probably going to be able to get out of here. So they kill 2 and secure an even bigger net worth lead here. So another 2k change here, and Secret continue to be in firm control of this game. They're using this one fight to take the tier 2 tower in middle, as well as threatening the high ground here at top. And because it's so far ahead, it's very difficult for the enemy to respond to this. So as Enigma, it's important to note that Eidolons do normal damage and they're really good against buildings, but one problem is that if you attack buildings, they're not actually going to split. To split, you need to attack creeps or heroes. Buildings don't count. But once they've split, they just do so much building damage because of the normal damage. And now Roshan is back up, so they of course try to claim that immediately. And with the medallion as well as all his creeps that at least could potentially be there, it goes quite quickly. And Wraith King of course does quite a bit of damage with his Radiance and his AC, but the enemy come out to play here, so Alliance trying to contest this. It's kind of a desperation move. They know that they're much weaker here. They have this 10-second BKB or 9-second BKB on this Prophet, so it's really strong. And even though there's no black hole, the secret on them is just much stronger right now, and they can easily hold off here. And now they can potentially go back into Roche Pit, and meanwhile Nisha, because he's a Prophet, he can just TP down here, use his regular TP to get to this tower, defend this tier 1 tower, not give the enemy an inch, and still be able to TP back if Alliance tries to contest here. Now he TPs back just for the Roshan, so they're gonna get this Aegis and Cheese, and with that they can definitely go high ground. So Aegis is claimed, and Yapsa jumps forward, finds Hanskin here, is going to try to go for a kill here. Hanskin doesn't have any defensive items, all he has is Ether Lens and a bunch of small items. But he still tries to play his way out of this, but doesn't quite succeed, and will now die. They also found Chen, so overall just things really looking up for Secret. Even though they don't have Black Hole quite yet, they're still so much stronger and are able to just go high ground here. Of course, with all those Prophet Treants and that AC, that tower doesn't last very long. They try to initiate on Wraith King, but he's a Wraith King. He has 2 lives as well as the Cheese still up, so there's an easy tower to claim here, and they're just still hitting the melee racks. And now Puppey, of course, he's stay back. He has Black Hole almost up, so he doesn't want to be hit by anything that disables his Blink Dagger. So it's very difficult for the enemy to actually engage here, because Puppey can always just counter engage with his Black Hole, but now it's actually standing a bit too far forward, honestly. But that's so far ahead that it doesn't matter too much. He gets a decent Black Hole here, finds Limb, and that is going to be the GG. So, should you pick Enigma in your pubs? Well, probably only if you're, as I said, playing with a position 4 that's okay with playing a somewhat more sacrificial role. And you need to have a team that's sort of okay with that kind of playstyle. But if that is the case, then it's definitely a strong possibility. And the big advantage of that pick, obviously, is that Enigma is not typically viewed as a position 5 hero, so you're going to confuse the enemy by picking this hero, and they first picked Enigma, and going into that, probably they weren't committed to going position 5 Enigma. They could have just moved into position 3 if that was better in their estimation, but they felt that this Bat Rider was a better pickup later on, and you could also even run it as a position 4, possibly even position 2. Enigma is quite flexible in that regard, and just being able to play this as a 5 gives an extra boost to Enigma, who's just in general a very strong hero right now. So definitely give position 5 Enigma a try. And if you like this video, share it with a friend, and if you haven't already, join the fold by subscribing and by hitting the bell button. And all is willing, I will see you next time.